back to Finding New Films. Today, I have a new guest, Omar.
Yes, hello.
Uh, Today, we are going to be discussing the anime drama Promare by Trigger Studios and XFANG. And that was Omar's pick. Trying to get my bearings here. I forgot to charge the camera, and so this is on my phone. So if it sounds better and looks better, that's why. It's just easier off of my measly little camera. Nevertheless, uh, what was your inspiration behind the Promare?
Well, originally I just saw the trailer for it on it was like I think it was a YouTube.
Yeah.
I just saw the trailer in one of the ads, and I thought it looked interesting then, but I just never got around to watching it. It was just on my watch list for like a year and a half, and I just never got around to it. And well, this finally gave me the opportunity to watch it.
Yeah, nice. That's kind of like the whole reason the podcast got started in the first place, really. I just was like, I've always heard about all these movies. I've always wanted to see these movies, and now I'm kind of pushing myself to watch them.
Yeah.
I don't want to say forcing myself, because I could definitely take breaks if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I've been really enjoying the feeling of like watching a movie and stuff. Like every week. Now I'm doing 2. Check Mondays. Anyway, yeah, so I think I'm just gonna go ahead and run through the credits and get through the plot. This is one of the longest plot synopsises I've ever had to read. So that'll take me a little while because I'm not a great reader. But we'll get through it. The runtime on this movie, Promare, came out in 2019. The runtime for this movie was 111 minutes. The writers were Kazuki Nakashima and Michael Schneider. The director of this film was Hiroyuki Imiyashi, and the editor was Junichi Yumatsu. The music on this film was done by Hiroyuki Sawano. The camera work was done by Shinsuke Akita. And stars of the film, I think this is for the English dub, which is what I watched. Is that what you watched?
Yeah. That's
Okay.
what I watched.
Just wanted to make sure. We may have watched a different movie if you watched the sub. Stars from the English dub were John Eric Bentley, who played the lead role, and then Steve Bloom and Johnny Young Bosch were 2 other stars of the film. Anyways, plot is as follows. I'm going to take a swig of water before I do this one. This one's very long. I'm not even joking. Oh my god. This movie is in your face from the very first second, and it like really doesn't stop with like the non-stop action. So I guess that's anime. I don't watch anime very much, but
I don't either.
It was super balls to the walls from the very second. And then he got started. Anyways, plot is as follows. During a calamity known as the Great World Blaze, fires from mass spontaneous human combustions killed half the world's population. Certain humans developed pyrokinetic abilities during and subsequent to the event, and become known as the Burnish. 30 years later, Gallo Thymos, a member of the firefighting group Burning Rescue, living in the city Promopolis, the team responds to incidents involving Mad Burnish, a group of radical Burnish accused of being terrorists. As Gallo succeeds in the mission of taking down the Mad Burnish, including their leader, Leo Fotia, they are sent to prison by Freeze Force, a police force owned by the city governor, Cray Forsyth. We'll talk about that. However, Leo and the Burnish prisoners break themselves free and escape to a cave near a frozen lake where Gallo just happens to be nearby. He sees Leo failing to revive a mortally injured Burnish using mouth-to-mouth flame transfer technique before they escape. Leo tells Gallo that Cray is capturing Burnish for human experiments, shocking Gallo as he worshipped Cray after the latter saved him several years ago. After Gallo confronts Cray, he informs him that the Earth will soon be destroyed by an uncontrollable surge of magma from the Earth's core. He reveals that the abilities of the Burnish can be used to create a warp drive, which he intends to use to flee Earth with a select portion of humanity. Gallo objects to this plan, but Cray orders the soldiers to arrest Gallo for treason. Meanwhile, Free's force managed to track down and recapture all the Burnish population but Leo, who was sent to a nearby volcano by his companions. Infuriated by the abuse done toward his people, Leo unleashes all his hatred, turning into a giant flame dragon and burning down the city, with the intention of confronting Cray. Gallo escapes from prison and, with help of Burning Rescue, intervenes in the conflict, restraining and cooling him down enough as Gallo's colleague, Aina Ardebit, that's a weird name, sends them off to a frozen lake. The flames melt the ice and reveal a laboratory run by a holographic projection of Deus Prometheus, a scientist killed by Cray. Deus explains that the Burnish can communicate with the Promare, a race of interdimensional flame beings residing in the Earth's core after a dimension rift opened shortly after the Great World Blaze. The Promare naturally desired to burn an instinct inherited by the Burnish. The surging magma is a side effect of subjecting the Promare to pain, and Cray's experiments on the Burnish using incomplete stolen technology are accelerating its growth. He proceeds to reveal the collective agony caused by the Promare-powered warp drive He proceeds to reveal the collective agony caused by the Promare-powered warp drive will cause the Earth's immediate destruction. Okay, that is not correctly written. In a mecha of Deus's design, known as the Deus Ex Machina, Gallo and Leo return to the city to confront Cray after seemingly destroying the ship and warp drive during the battle. Cray reveals that he is a Burnish and was also one who indirectly started the fire he forcefully rescued Gallo from. Using it as the start of his political uprising and only recommending Gallo to join Burning Rescue in order to let him die, Cray seemingly kills Gallo and takes Leo to use him to power the warp drive. However, Leo's flame had managed to save Gallo, and using a drill designed by Prometh, Gallo makes it to the core of the ship in time. Using Leo's flame, he defeats Cray, and while Leo is nearly killed due to the warp drive, Gallo revives him using the mouth-to-mouth technique. Having fused with the Earth's core, Leo convinces Gallo to combine the drive with the mecha to protect life on Earth while allowing the Promare to envelop the surface, causing the Promare to burn completely and harmlessly, satisfying their natural urge and allowing the rift in the core to close, the Burnish becoming normal humans, and Gallo and Leo resolve to rebuild the world together. And that was Promare. Themes of this movie were obviously the evils of racism, family, fire. That's basically it. Firefighting.
Yeah.
That's basically it. Yeah, that was Promare. So we're gonna get into our thoughts now, I guess, and that'll basically be it. Then we'll throw it on the list, and we'll be out of your hair. Anyway, so my first thought, I really enjoyed the little triangle opening. That was really cool to me.
Yeah.
Little like opening sequence with the title cards with all the triangles. And then it having like a meaning throughout the movie. That was nice.
Yeah, the animation was one of the things that really struck out. It was probably one of the reasons why I wanted to watch it in the first place. It definitely has a more unique style. You don't really see it too. I guess you see it now more in anime, but at the time you didn't see it too often in anime. That was probably like my favorite part of it, the animation.
I agree. The animation was really nice. It had like a um, really intense feel like through the whole time. I mean, I don't watch anime, so this could be the most docile anime in the world. I wouldn't
Yeah.
know, but it was extremely intense to me. Um, yeah, and it's like I have this note later, like I wrote it later into the movie, but I kind of feel like anime is probably not for me just because I want to get this out, I guess, at the beginning
Yeah.
because I don't want to read my thoughts and then people be like, he seems to not like anime. That is the truth. I don't really like anime. But I want to watch new shit. So
Yeah.
I'm fine watching it. And I did enjoy the movie. It was fun. It's much more different than anything else that I'm watching on a regular basis. So that was fun. Um, I don't know. There's just so much. I kind of like. It would be like going to a vacation in Japan, where someone
Yeah.
is completely speaking a different language and the culture is completely different. It's kind of how I felt watching this movie.
Yeah.
I was just like, what's going on? I didn't understand why half of the things that were happening. And I think just the dialogue style in anime is was really jarring for me because it feels like with animation, like you can really do anything. You can show anything. Um, so it was kind of shocking to have the dialogue really explain itself. Like the dialogue felt like it needed to explain the plot of the movie
Yeah.
so much. And I'm just not used to that. But I do think if I remember from just being on the internet watching videos and stuff like that. Anime likes to do that
Yeah.
and just explain literally everything that is happening and like their every emotion. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm angry because you killed my father and my father meant everything to me. And now I'm going to kill you because, and it's like, okay,
Yeah. I
you
mean,
could you could just let the rage speak for itself.
yeah.
And I think that's like one way that this movie kind of had me turned off from the plot. It was so visually striking, you can't stop looking at it.
Yeah.
Um, but from the plot perspective, I do think anime in general, but this movie specifically does suffer from over explanation of what it's doing. Um, but that's just me. I think I'll stop this long rant in a second. But I think I enjoy subtlety way too much to enjoy this movie for what it is.
Mhm.
I think I'm looking at it from a film person's or someone who likes to think that they're a film person, just looking at it from that view. Um, but yeah, so I think I'm a little too in love with subtlety for this movie to really like resonate with me in the way that it probably should with or could with other people. I was explaining this movie to Nolan and Zach the other night because I started watching it last night
Yeah.
and then I got like 20 minutes in and they were asking if I wanted to go to like a bonfire. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna watch Fire. Um, I mean, I was already watching Fire from the movie, but I wanted to go watch real Fire. So yeah, so I did that and I was explaining the movie to them and they seemed really interested in it because they love anime. They've
Yeah.
been watching Attack on Titan for like the last few weeks. So, um, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just the wrong audience is really what I'm trying to get at. I don't think I'm the right audience for this movie to be accurately giving, a feeling. But I did like it. It was interesting and it was like very visually striking. Um, and I enjoyed all of the visual stuff.
I get that the movie, in my opinion, it's not it wasn't for me as like either. I mean, sure, it looked really really good,
Mhm.
and that's probably one of the reasons why I continued to watch it. But it's not really up to the standards of things I like to watch. Like you said, the over explanation was a little too much. And like it's animation, so you can do a whole bunch with expressing how they felt and
Yeah.
all this stuff without needing to for them to say it every time. I mean,
Yeah.
it definitely wasn't my favorite thing I've ever watched, but it wasn't the worst thing I've ever watched.
Me either. I mean, I've turned movies off.
Yeah,
I didn't want to turn this one off. I also kind of felt like a little bit of like I have to finish it. I think it would be a little weird for me to get on here and be like, yeah, so got 30 minutes in, just turned it off. I didn't like that. Yeah, no. I thought that would also be a little weird. Um, but yeah, I don't know. There's so much going for it, and I think there's a lot there. I think it has so much potential, and I
yeah,
just don't think it really delivers on it. Yeah, I don't know. I think if it were less about them being like a firefighter squad, I think it would be a lot better. I think if it
yeah,
were just like two people having a struggle, um, that would have been one thing. But using fire as a metaphor for racism is just so weird.
yeah. It's actually kind of wild.
It's so weird. And then it's like, and then to connect like their, to connect like their flame stuff as being like interdimensional kind of undermines the whole racist undertones
Yeah,
from the movie. I just don't, I don't know. It's like, you know, obviously very much written by a Japanese person, someone who doesn't,
yeah. For the most part, won't really experience that.
yeah. Um, there are some indigenous tribes in like North Japan who don't get recognized by the government and are pushed out in many ways. And tried, and much like America, they're treated as, not people and stuff like that. So in that way, there are. However, I know that this person who wrote this movie does not experience that, and he may be empathetic towards it, and that's obvious. But um, I also think it's just a little bit tone deaf.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just super tone deaf. Um, and then to make a metaphor for racism and have all the characters be white except for one black character whose main attribute is being fat and dumb. Or goofy. I don't want to say dumb, but
Yeah,
goofy. Still undermines him as a person with complex feelings and emotions. His main scene is him eating like 4 pizzas like over. It's pretty insulting, and I don't really understand where the movie gets off doing that, but is what it is. It, this movie was just kind of like just a disappointment overall for me. Um, but I did like the animation.
yeah,
I like the animation. And that kind of saves the movie for me. It was super. That's
yeah,
gonna be my whole thing. Is this movie is very well made, but
yeah,
the story is just so lackluster.
yeah.
Um,
Well, then also when I was watching it, it kind of felt like something else entirely.
yeah,
Like it felt. I know you say you don't watch too much anime, but it sort of felt like Fire Force for a little bit, which is
I've heard of that.
yeah, which is like a firefighting type of anime, or where one of the main character like controls flames and all that kind of stuff. And it kind of felt like that for a little bit. And I don't know if it's because I haven't watched all of Fire Force, but it's kind of what I took away from the movie. It just didn't really appeal too much. It,
Yeah, this movie has a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it should be noted that Rotten Tomatoes is not a like uh is an aggregate. So
yeah,
97% of critic reviews were positive, over 6 out of 10. With that being said, that doesn't mean that 97% of people who watched the movie liked it.
Yeah.
They thought it was good enough, basically. And then, you also have to consider audience. It's only going to be watched by people who like anime.
For the most part, yeah.
So I think that should also be taken with a grain of salt. So, I mean, I guess I watched it, so not exactly, but yeah. I'm actually going to read some stuff that I enjoyed about this movie. I'm going to read a few notes in a row. I like the establishing scene for the burnish. I thought that was really cool. It was super intense, like the entire movie. I enjoyed the CCTV-esque grain on the screen in the very beginning, when they were like, I think that was when they were establishing the burning.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd hear someone use the word pyros as a racial epithet. That was pretty shocking. The little mouse was really cute. And then last note here says anime is the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah, well, it's one of the weirdest things ever. It's not. I wouldn't say it's the weirdest thing I've ever watched.
Yeah, I just anime in general is
Yeah, as a whole, it's pretty weird.
it's I mean, just from Leophobia just being like, basically a female character's design.
Yeah.
To that cop character just being the absolute meatiest meathead. It's just super jarring stuff. If anime were made into like, live action movies, it should be like the most art house, out of left field thing you've ever seen. And I think that's where a lot of them go wrong when they're making them into live action stuff, is they tell them way too straightforward. And I don't think any anime is told that straightforward except for like Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, but that's more westernized. So.
Exactly. But yeah, it's so odd that they try to capitalize on that. Because like this is, I mean, I don't, like I said many times, don't watch this, but it was like one of the oddest things I've ever seen. And if anybody ever tried to put this on live action, it would look so stupid.
Yeah. For sure.
So now I'm behind the anime fans when they are like, hey, do not do this. It's super dumb. I did watch Cowboy Bebop, which is much less intense. Very chill vibes on that show. There's only one season, so it's very digestible, and I really like that show a lot. And when they announced that they were doing a live action, I enjoyed the casting, but it was just like, I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I don't think many people do want to see that.
No, and I don't think really anybody wants to see that, So I don't know. I new respect for some anime fans was gained from me, because that would be annoying. That would be really, really annoying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed the way they called him an idiot throughout the movie. That was funny.
Yeah.
I did like that there was some points where they were calling out like the trope story, like tropey storytelling.
Yeah.
But then it was like, yeah, but you're like still doing it.
Yeah, like
it's not, it doesn't
you
make
can't
it better.
call out being meta if you're gonna be meta.
Yeah.
Like 2 seconds later, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, like, say what you will about Family Guy, but at least when they're meta, I don't know. I guess it's hard. It's hard to do that. I'm not gonna make that comparison because that's not fair.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just lands better. I don't think the person writing this has a very great like understanding of comedy or like comedic timing. I think they should have just played more. It should have been less cutesy. Because if you're going to tackle a serious subject like racism, you need to like really delve into it. But to have like these like standout scenes, like the pizza scene and the other scenes that are just like kind of hangout scenes between the fire crew, and it's like, do you want to make a TV show? Like I don't get this movie in a lot of ways because I don't even think it understands its own direction.
Yeah, I felt like it was trying to take itself too seriously while also not taking itself seriously at the same time, and it doesn't work that way. You got to pick a lane,
Yeah.
and it just felt like they didn't pick their lane. They wanted to do everything. Like they wanted to make this great this great. Honestly, it probably should have been. It would have been better off as a show,
Yeah.
as opposed to the movie, because it just didn't work.
It just didn't work. Yeah, and I hate this because I didn't want to feel this way. I wanted to really like this movie. But just time after time, it just kind of told you that it was not willing to take itself seriously, and it was in the parts that it needed to be taken more seriously. It just was not willing to do that. In the parts that it needed to be less serious, I don't know that there ever really needed to be a part that was less serious, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, when they're tackling such a big topic such as racism, you don't really have the ability to take anything less serious because it's such a prevalent thing that happens every day, all the time, everywhere.
Right.
So you can't really take it less seriously.
Yeah. And I think that was probably the most jarring part of being like, are they serious right now? Like, are they actually being serious? Yeah, it's this movie is definitely for some, I guess you could say it could be a hate watch.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think just literally every anime thing that you could think of happening, it happens. I mean, this last 40 minutes is the most predictable thing I've ever seen in my life. It's just, I mean, I watch Marvel movies, and Marvel movies are more subtle than this. And that says a lot.
Yeah.
That says
it does.
a lot. Like that explanation they used to like let them know that the Promare were connected to the Burnish. I was like the main character, and I know, and like you making a joke out of your plot, like the driving force of your plot, you're making the main character mock the fact that it's boring. It's like, how the fuck am I supposed to care?
Yeah. If he thinks it's boring, what do you think I thought of?
Right. I mean, I'm a big fan of pro wrestling, and that's like a big thing in pro wrestling is like the character has to believe what he's doing, or else it's gonna come off as if they don't, and that's not the intended purpose. So if you're not doing that, then you're just like wasting your time, company's time, like everybody involves time. And I don't know. I hesitate to be like this whole thing was a waste of time. I think it was just, they were given money to make this and everybody wanted to get paid. And I think that's what happened here. Everybody did get paid.
Yeah.
I want to point out Cray Foresight is the worst name in the world. That is probably the worst character name I have ever heard.
It's definitely up there with the worst I've ever heard.
Moment of silence for that, because like, man,
I feel like most of the names in the movie were kind of
Leophobia.
Yeah, kind of just on the low end aspect of naming.
Gallothymos.
Like it just looks like they used a random name generator and just hit randomize a couple times to pick the names.
Yeah. It was really bad. Yeah, and then the title screens for all the characters was really corny. again, if you want to make a TV show, then make a TV show.
Yeah,
Like,
TV show
why?
probably would have landed better anyway.
It
If it
really
was.
would have. I really think so. This movie won an award from
Oh
someone.
man, I did not know that.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the art and the animation, then I don't know what it would have been
I would
for.
really hope. I mean, this movie winning an award is like, this would have been like if Top Gun had won an Oscar.
Yeah,
I mean, they were nominated, and that's bad enough, but
I mean, it was box office, like,
yeah,
so of course it was gonna get out.
cared about that.
Yeah,
No, I'm just being stupid, but I don't know. I don't want to keep shitting on this movie. I don't feel bad to continue to pile on.
I mean, yeah, but there's really, outside of the animation, there's not really much good to say about it.
Yeah.
I mean,
One of my notes here says the main character is just so angry about racism. God, why does this happen?
yeah.
Like, they're like, you're these, what, how are you, what? And it's like, you were literally like a cop.
Yeah.
This movie is literally just a cop realizing that racism is bad and being like, actually, we can do something different. We don't have to just be racist.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, wow.
Never thought of that.
So endearing. Oh my God. And then the main character is just kind of like the dumbest person in the world. One of the most naive people.
Yeah, like, how do you become a cop, firefighter, whatever he wants to be,
Right.
being that naive? And
It just doesn't make sense.
it doesn't. I feel like most of the movie didn't really make sense.
Yeah, I have this note here where they in quotes it says, "Oh, you're running away again." This is Gallo talking to Leo, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm being persecuted for my race." Like, the cops that you serve are trying to murder me. So yeah, I'm gonna run away.
Why? Yeah, you think I'm just gonna stand there and take that? Why? What?
And then
Okay.
and then the Burnish get slaughtered
Yeah.
in the later scenes, and he's just like, it's so bad, man. I just can't get over it. I really can't. The animation on the dragon was cool. I love that Gallo came in just accusing Cray
Yeah.
of being a bad guy before even asking him, like, hey, is this stuff true? He just comes in and he goes, neither one of us are able to receive or give this award because the Burnish are still out on the streets. And it's like, so you have seen that the Burnish are persecuted, and yet you're doubling down on the fact that you hate the Burnish, but you're by like being like, no, I can't have this metal. Those scum are still on the street. That's so like, it's not endearing. The main character is not an endearing character. And by the end of it, when they are like, oh, we can coexist, it's like, fuck you, no, we can't.
They made it really hard for you to root for him.
And I just have no respect for Leo.
No.
Because it's like, I don't know. People want to have like such a hard time with Black Panther Wakanda Forever. But like, by the end of that movie, when they agree to like not attack each other, it's for a reason that is understandable and digestible and has been shown over the course of the movie.
Yeah.
There is a process of events. But this movie kind of is just like, yeah, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, rather than being, this happened, so then this happened, so then this happened. Nothing leads into the other. It's just a pile of shit getting shoveled onto this movie, and it's just really disappointing. I can't get over the level of disappointing.
And speaking of pile of shit, it kind of reinforced why I don't really watch too much anime these days because there's so much just shit out there that it's hard to find something good.
Yeah. Yeah. I do want to watch the Ghibli movies. Studio
Yeah,
Ghibli. Um
those are actually pretty decent. My girlfriend has me watch them. They're really good.
okay. Yeah, I think anime for me serves the best purpose when it's cute
Yeah,
and light
yeah.
and not dealing with alternate dimensions
Yeah.
and all this complex storytelling that it doesn't really seem capable of telling. I mean, a lot of people love Attack on Titan and Hunter x Hunter and My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
I'm sure those shows are written very well. I'm not trying to shit on anime as a whole. I know it has sounded like that.
Just a little bit.
Probably, but this movie really just does not hit the mark. Plot wise, visually, it's incredible.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, you watch the movie on mute, you probably understand it. Or if you just want to like watch it in all of its real glory, you just watch the sub
Yeah.
because the dub is kind of sad. Like the dub is just bad, honestly. And I'm sure that's more than likely the case for most anime. For Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
that dub was really good. Honestly, I couldn't even imagine with the sub. I couldn't imagine watching the sub for that.
Yeah, no, I'd probably be too caught up just watching the pretty pictures to actually comprehend what's going on.
Yeah. I watched Portrait of a Lady on Fire, which is a French movie. This past week, not this past week, last week, and I had to keep rewinding. I do this every time I watch a foreign language film, but I have to just keep rewinding it because I like will look down for a second and then be like, damn it, I don't know what they're talking about. But this movie, I don't know. I think I would have liked the raw emotion from the Japanese actors a little bit more. And they probably had a better script.
Well, you would hope they had a better script to work with. If they were working with what we got, then it's a little rough.
Hey, they're all making money and they're all getting paid, and that's what's important.
Yeah.
Just not a lot because anime. Yeah, I mean that's kind of it for me. I really did not like the Deus character. If you've ever seen the movie Contact, basically they build this like $1 billion space machine.
Yeah.
And then Gary Busey, I think, blows it up, so they can't use it anymore. And then this random billionaire, just out of nowhere, is just like, "Hey, I also have this other $1 billion space machine that I built on the other side of the world at my own expense." And we're just supposed to believe no one saw that?
Yeah.
I literally just stole that bit from Family Guy. I'm not even word for word. I just stole that bit from Family Guy. And it applies here. Why does that apply here? Why is this movie making the same mistakes that the movie Contact from 40 years ago is making? It's not fun. And yeah, I don't know. I digress. It's not worth it. But I think honestly I'm ready to put this on the list. I'm ready to get over this movie.
Yeah.
We will make sure to pick out like an iconic movie the next time you're on.
Yeah.
So that way we can really level the fields. I think so next time you're on it'll be my pick. So
Yeah.
I'll try to do my best to get us like a
Well, anything's better than that.
it's fine. I enjoyed it. It was like I said, I enjoyed it. I was just also like I wanted so much more. Yeah,
I didn't enjoy listening to it.
Yeah, the yeah, watching the pretty pictures was fun. I think that was the most this movie had to offer, and yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. I know there's nothing else to say. I just have nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I just saw Spider-Man, so trying to discern
Oh Lord.
what I liked about this compared to what I liked about Spider-Man is just like this. The list is only like too long
Yeah.
as opposed to the Spider-Man list, which is 15 pages.
I can imagine. My screen is frozen. It's fun, but yeah, I can imagine. We actually have the other Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse, the first one, um, on the screen at the moment. So that's fun. But yeah, I can imagine how that would be really just a absolute downgrade.
Oh yeah.
So you're connected to the Mac, but I don't. Thanks for sticking around, everybody. We're gonna have the list up in 1 second. I guarantee it. Oh, that's the wrong TV. Anyway,
The laptop not connecting is a testament to how shit the movie was.
yeah, they don't even want us to rate this movie. They're like, don't put this on the list.
Nope.
All right, I'm just gonna put it on there. Oh, oh, oh,
Here, even my hat up there.
oh, no, no, no. Yeah. So I guess it's not like they can really see the list, anyways. So, what was your rating for this movie?
Not the worst thing I've ever seen, but certainly not the best. I probably would have given it like a 3.5 or 4.
4.
Yeah, 4.
Gotcha. I am right there with you.
If it didn't look as good, it probably would have been a 1.
Yeah, I agree. I'm also giving it a 4. So it becomes the lowest rated movie in F&F history, right under 65. I honestly, Zach's gonna be over the moon.
Oh, his choice wasn't the worst.
Yeah, because well, I don't know. I don't think he would really care actually. But nevertheless, yeah, that's gonna be easy to slot in. I should put it right near the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Promare, everybody. The worst movie, as far as rating that we've ever watched. But it still had good qualities as far as the animation was concerned. A lot of great colors.
Yeah.
It was really cool as far as, shapes were concerned.
Oh yeah, the geometry was great.
This is also super jarring for me because I do this thing called self tapes where I
Yeah.
just do solo reviews and stuff. And my solo review for this week was The Great Dictator by Charles Chaplin.
Yeah.
So going from a movie from the 1940s, from 1940 to this was, I think, the biggest mind fuck that I could have given myself. It's better planning on my part. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's it. So, yeah, like I just mentioned, this past Monday, because this will come out Friday. Tomorrow's the 12th, so Friday will be the 14th or the 15th. No, math guys, 15th or 16th. Anyways. Yeah, I'm not gonna figure that out right now. Anyways, whenever this comes out, this past Monday came a Cell Tapes episode. It'll be The Great Dictator. I still have to watch the movie. Not done with it. Got about an hour and a half left, but I did sleep for like literally like 12 hours today. So I should be good. It is currently 9:23 p.m. That is the only reason I'm pointing that out. But I want to thank Omar for being here. He will be back, and if you'd want to be back.
Oh yeah. Hopefully we're not watching a shitty movie.
Yeah, some stupid anime. No.
I think that this was probably, outside of Ant-Man Quantumania, this is probably the worst thing I've watched this year.
That's
I don't know if you've seen that, but I haven't even finished it. I have like 30 minutes left, and I don't want to continue watching it.
That's not an encouraging thing to hear, but I will probably watch that movie at some point. We watched Guardians last week. Did you see that?
I didn't.
It's really good.
Oh, you watched the most recent one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I like that one.
It was really good. Really, really liked it. So yeah, go watch that from last week. Watch me review The Great Dictator, and then if you like this, then like the video, subscribe. If you're on audio, rate the podcast, follow us.
Can you like favorite the podcast or something? I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I don't either. I think it's different on everyone, so I kind of just feel
Yeah.
you know how to like and like save podcasts on your podcasting networks. Just do that, and that way I don't have to figure it out. Yeah, I think that's it for us. That has been Omar. I've been Hunter. And this has been Finding New Films. And, this is what you get on a quality show like Finding New Films.
Oh yeah, very high quality.
Just airplay, just on in the back. Oh, and I got it on over there
Yeah,
too.
airplay on the 2TV.
It's apparently connected too. And it's just not, it doesn't want to do it. It's like, yeah, I could do that, but it's more fun if I don't. So, all right. This is actually goodbye. Peace out. Thanks for showing up. Yeah. Bye.